Hi everyone, I've posted my holiday project on YouTube and Facebook, but without a commentary. I've prepared this one with a commentary to give a bit of depth and description to the various places we visited. We broke our journey on the way, firstly at Peterborough so we could visit Betty's sister Joyce, and then at Appleby and Westmoreland just to break the journey into comfortable legs. I had decided to visit Stranraer this year as it is an area we have not been to for many years, and I had found it difficult to find a site to suit us further north. The CL I booked into was just to the west of Stranraer, near the village of Leswold, on a working dairy farm. Our first outing after we had settled into the CL was to the little fishing port of Port Patrick. Port Patrick has a pleasant little harbour which is run by the community. There is obviously a good community spirit as everywhere looked clean and well cared for. After visiting Port Patrick, we decided to return to the caravan, taking the country lanes around the northern part of the peninsula, and stopped to admire the view from the village of Kirkham. From here we could see across Loch Ryan to the ferry terminal at Kenryan and down to Stranraer. The following day we decided to go to Port Logan and Logan Botanical Gardens. Port Logan doesn't have much to commend it to my preferences, so we didn't stay long before going to visit the gardens. After the gardens, we decided to drive down to the Mull of Galloway and visit the lighthouse. Our next outing was down the Whithorn Peninsula to visit Port William. On the way, I stopped to take a couple of photographs across Loose Bay of the Scare Rocks and the Mull of Galloway. Port William was a bit of a disappointment scenery-wise, as there were no cafes open to get some lunch, so we drove on to the Isle of Whithorn, where we found a nice cafe in the newly renovated community centre. From there, we drove through the country lanes up the east side of the peninsula to Garliston with its fishing harbour, and we were lucky to see a fisherman unloading his catch of shellfish. The following day we had to go into Stranraer for some shopping. The town is not one of the most attractive, but the waterfront has been updated and does provide a pleasant walk and nice views down Loch Ryan with Ailsa Craig in the far distance. Above Leswold is the Agnew Monument, from which there are beautiful views, particularly the whole length of Loch Ryan. The monument was built on the site of an ancient hill fort and commemorates the life of Sir Andrew Agnew, who was an MP for Wigtonshire and leader of the Teetotal and Sunday Observant Societies. Our next outing was to Castle Kennedy Gardens, just to the east of Stranraer. There are nice walled gardens laid out formally, as well as extensive woodland walks with a very large lily pond. Gardens is a more modern Loch Inch castle, which is used for weddings and other formal events. After quite a tiring day at the Gardens, we decided to have a drive through the Galloway Forest Park, mainly to see the Grey Mayor's Tales waterfalls. But just before the falls is the Movavi Monument, to commemorate a shepherd's son who became a professor in Oriental languages. And then the falls. After the falls, we decided to drive on to New Galloway and take the air road to Girvan to view Ailsa Craig closer up. As on the way, we passed this tower house in remarkably good condition. Once at Girvan, we could look out to sea and see Ireland, but closer to Ailsa Craig. After spending another day in the car, we thought we would discover a bit more of the nearby scenery and coastline. Carswell Lighthouse was especially attractive as it was a hotel and restaurant, so we decided to have lunch there. From near the lighthouse, I was lucky enough to get some photos of the ferry to Ireland with Ailsa Craig as a backdrop. Having had a couple of restful days, it was time to visit some more gardens. Glen Huan Gardens are just a bit further east from Castle Kennedy on the A75. The gardens cover 12 acres with a further 17 acres of moorland walks. Started in 1979, they were hewn from a hillside covered in bracken and gorse and there are plenty of seats on which to sit, rest and admire the views. To round off the day, we went to find the Glenluce Abbey, but the grounds were shut and so I had to be content with a photo. We also went to find Carscrew Castle, but this was on private land, so the big lens helped me get a couple of photos. Our final outing took us up the A77 to Ayr, and on the way I couldn't help but turn off the main road to follow the coast, and so we called into Maidens, a small harbour near a large golf course named after someone from America. Our next port of call was Dunure Castle. Dunure has turned the castle grounds into a lovely park, and the castle has an ancient dovecot which is still in use. A footpath runs from the castle grounds down into the harbour. It's possible to see the Isle of Arran from this part of the coastline. After driving into Ayr and filling up with diesel, we returned via the A76, stopping to take a couple of photographs of the countryside. We had an easy day the next day, took down the awning and prepared the van for the return journey, stopping off at Appleby for 3 nights. Crofts End Farm is one of our favourite sites, and we like exploring the Yorkshire Dales from here.